Assalamualaikum. This is Chaplain Marco again. I just got out of a colonoscopy and I'm on a lot of Versed. So that and all the positive and supportive comments have really helped me a lot. Thank you so much for the positive response to the last video. I did not anticipate that at all. However, I did you all a great disservice by not actually going into, the actual places that you can call to get help if you need to get out of your situation immediately and get away from your family. So I'd like to go through that now, okay? So first of all, if you're pregnant and you don't want to be, if somehow you got coerced into pregnancy, there's something called the Anti-Network. There is a subreddit for it. I hope it's not banned, but if you can't find the subreddit, there is another way to reach it through Over It, which is a social media platform. I will try to link that below for you. Another thing, how I got out was actually the AmeriCorps. When you come from an affluent family, a lot of times there's so much emphasis placed on being, you don't want to be homeless or in poverty or anything like that, or be one of the poors. I had another friend who came from a similar situation to myself, wealthy family. He was trapped. He was about to get trafficked himself, marry somebody he probably didn't want to marry. He joined the AmeriCorps. He got into, there's multiple types of AmeriCorps. I think he did City, or I did Vista. So what Vista is you work yourself out of a job. So they take, I guess, educated young people. The cutoff, I think, is still 26. And you pick a nonprofit organization and you interview like it is for any other job. But you get paid a stipend and you are able to collect all government benefits while you're doing so. So this is a great introduction for how to live on your own. You get food stamps, you get utility assistance, and you get a small stipend to cover your cost of living and your rent. Hopefully things have improved over the years because I got very, very little. It was based on your region where you were serving as to how much money you got. So for instance, when I was living in Oklahoma, I got $650 a month. However, when I moved to Boston, I got something over $800 a month. This is back in 2001 money, 2002 money, whenever 9/11 was, because that's when I got relocated from Oklahoma to Boston. Now, the other great thing about the AmeriCorps is that they give you money to relocate. So no one can hold you back. Even if you don't have a car, that money could be used for a Greyhound. There is no physical object in this world that is more important than your safety. And hopefully you understand that. I come from one of those families where objects have been placed above people multiple times. Anyway, next thing I want to talk about is Peace Corps. That's much harder to get into, and harder to get into if you don't have a good family and good references. And a lot of us have been incredibly isolated. I tried, I didn't get in, but I've known people who've had good experiences with them. However, it's dangerous. Obviously they're involved in political matters. They are targeted sometimes by oppositional groups. So if you like excitement and you really believe in the cause, great, but, I haven't really followed Peace Corps over the years too closely. I haven't known anybody who's gone into it recently. It used to be a very difficult process to get into. Military is always an option. However, caveat, with the rape crisis we have going on right now in the U.S. military, I hate to say this, but I recommend it more for men than women unless you can score super high on the ASVAB. If your ASVAB score is high enough, it's a much better experience in the military than if it's low. And taking the ASVAB does not commit you to join the military. Okay? Take the ASVAB, see where you rank. You can use that score for other things. You can even use that to get into college. And that test is free. Usually, recruiters are usually begging to give it. However, there's sometimes an even better option, and that's joining foreign militaries. So if you offer your service to other militaries in exchange for citizenship, some countries do that. I actually tried to do that with Canada. That's how I got into a chaplaincy program in the United States. I was up in Canada, had an ex-fiance. It didn't work out, but I really had this interest in chaplaincy, and I talked to some of the people up there, and they said, you know what, go back home, get your degree in chaplaincy, and then apply. But obviously some things happened, and I never reapplied. I felt I was too broken for that. But I'm just telling you that other places are receptive for that. And I also know, for those of you outside the United States also does that too. So if you're in, an absolute horrible country where the entire culture is keeping you down, that's an option to get out. I've had some very good friends get out that way. And, it's not great, but it's sure as hell being abused. It's less abusive than living with an abusive family member. And honestly, from what I've been told, and I'm not military, going through boot camp is easy for some people, rather, who have been through worse, especially from their own families. Merchant Marines, I don't know much about these, but I have had people tell me that they join the Merchant Marines to get out, and that's an option. Look into it. Cruise ships. Cruise ships are amazing for this. However, understand that cruise ships do not pay well. They intentionally dock at ports in countries and base their businesses out of places with very lax labor practices, and the whole international waters thing causes problems. See a cruise ship as a temporary solution, okay? Now, if you work on a cruise ship, your food, your accommodations, all that, you're not going to get to use the cruise, people accommodations that like the paying guest use. You get literally like a little metal box that you're sleeping in. You're usually sharing it with somebody else, unless you're an entertainer. For some reason, entertainers get real rooms. And you have your own buffet that crew uses. You have your own laundry facilities. You have to pay for your own Wi-Fi every day, but if you don't want to be contacted by people, that's absolutely fantastic. And the best thing about cruise ships is how many people you meet and how many connections you have. Undoubtedly, after spending a year on a cruise ship, you undoubtedly have friends all over the world. And once you do that, you're set. You're set. What we need more than anything as, torture orphans is community. We need people who are in our corner. We need people who are in mutually supportive, healthy relationships. And I don't mean romantic, I mean just productive friendships and found, and yeah, can't talk. Again, lots of versid in me. Found family. You need found family. And you'll probably find a lot of the other coworkers on there are much the same. An extension of that, more local, resort destinations and ranches, places that do weekend excursions and vacations. They usually have on-site living facilities for their staff. Again, they don't pay well, but they also cover your food, they cover your board, and it gets you out. And it's kind of nice. I mean, you get to live someplace pretty cool, The Poconos used to be really good for that in Pennsylvania. However, unfortunately, the Poconos have been utterly destroyed by, oh God, what you call it, that frickin' thing that took over for hotels but is now going under. So hopefully when that thing that I can't remember, Airbnb, when Airbnb goes under, hopefully the Poconos will return. But, think of any tropical islands, travel resorts. Are you bilingual? If you're bilingual, work at a resort. Get yourself down to, one of those nice sunny places. If you like sunlight, I like the cold. But if you like, tropical skies, blue seas, coral, tropical birds, yeah, go to where the cost of living is ridiculously low. Let them envy you from a distance. And you know what? They're probably, if they do come out to visit you, they can't afford to stay very long anyway, and you'll be working. I love that option. I've known so many people who've done well with that if they're bilingual, and it's wonderful, However, in many places, the bad side about that is it's basically colonialism. And one thing I can't stand, I worked in the travel industry for several years. I was a licensed travel agent. It's just the pure colonialism of the Caribbean, where it just feels like a lot of upper class white Americans want to go down to the Caribbean and have brown people serve them. I got so many disgusting complaints about why don't they speak English, and why can't I have, where's McDonald's, and just the entitlement and the way that they treated the people serving them, working for them, as less than human. I don't advocate that. However, you know, if you have a yen about you to improve those circumstances, be a bit of an activist, I mean, hey, if you want to be, you know, poisoned a couple of times like me, hey, go for it. May God protect you. But of course, not all places are exploitive. So there are vacation destinations all over the world. There are all kinds of places. And also, you know, there's migrant farming, and I know, you know, that's seen as lower or what have you. If you can't go away to school and they're blocking you in every way from doing so, many of these places will pay for your education. And I don't know if I mentioned WWOOF yet. WWOOF. That's an organic farming exchange. So you live on an organic farm and you're actually taught how to farm organically by, you know, these farmers. And I do know people who've gone through that, who've had positive and negative experiences. It all depends on where you end up. Some places, you really got to screen them well. Some are kind of culty. Some people are a little loopy. But also there's some people who are absolutely amazing. If you get WWOOF applications, if you're looking at various places to WWOOF for, I can help you screen those if you contact me and be like, yeah, I'd avoid that one. That sounds absolutely like a cult, you know, but if you avoid the cults, you know, that's also a wonderful option. And anything that helps you in your own self-sufficiency is only going to improve your life and your circumstance. And before I go, one last thing I wanted to mention. The reason I had a colonoscopy is because that aunt I mentioned prior, she has cancer right now, and she has been doing an amazing job. She's gone through chemo, she's going through radiation right now. She's tired all the time. I know my family is watching this. So, you know, if you want to do something nice for the first time in your life, you know, okay, sorry, that was a little harsh. Many of you are very, very nice. I just haven't seen you since I was 12. I apologize. But please take care of Tammy. I'm not in Pennsylvania. You know, visit her. She's been through more than you can possibly understand. You know, see her grandbabies. You know, maybe John will let you. But, yeah, that's pretty much it. And for the family who do watch this, who are not directly involved and who didn't know the extent of this, you are not to blame for it. I was only talking about the people who watched this day after day and knew the full extent of the situation and still continued to bury it to my detriment and to, you know, my injury. So that being said, this is going to be a shorter video. Love you all very much. Thank you so much for everything, for the support, for the outpouring. I really expected negative reactions. I really expected this to go very badly with my last video. So maybe I'll continue. I think I'm going to continue with this. It seems to help a lot of people. If there's anything you want me to talk about in particular, please let me know. But God bless you. God bless you all. May you all have a wonderful day. And please take care of yourselves the best you can. Be kind. All right. Best wishes.